What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Clarrkin Off Time, your daily WNBA briefing with no filter and no fluff. I'm your host, MaddyG, and today we have something very interesting to talk about. Tonight, the Indiana Fever traveled to Mohegan Sun Arena to face the Connecticut Sun, the team that Stephanie White built before she left to coach your Indiana Fever. 2 games last night worth breaking down, and Clark and Cunningham are both probable for tonight, which is huge news for the Fever Nation. We have a lot to get into, so let's get into it. Let's take a trip around the league. Let's start with last night's 2 games because both of them told interesting stories about this league right now. Game 1, Washington Mystics 86, Toronto Tempo 85 final, and this one was painful if you are a Toronto fan. Let me walk you through the quarter breakdown because the game had a wild ending. Washington came out on top in the first quarter, 17-14. Second quarter, they matched each other, 23-23. Third quarter, Washington pulled away in a big way, outscoring Toronto 25-15. Washington led by 16 going into the fourth quarter. This game looked over. And then Toronto's fourth quarter happened. The Tempo outscored Washington 33-21 in the final quarter. 33 points in one quarter. They clawed all the way back, but they fell 1 point short. Washington 86, Toronto 85. Now let me give you the stars. Lauren Betts for Washington, 18 points on 8 of 9 shooting. 8 of 9. That is 88.9% from the field. Dominant performance in the paint. Michaela Onyewer added 17 points and 8 rebounds. And Shakira Austin had a double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds. But the star of the show, Marina Mabrey for Toronto. This woman put on an absolute show. 27 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 5 3-pointers, 100% from the free throw line, in a loss. 27 and 5 threes, and Toronto still lost by 1. Toronto had 18 steals last night. 18. They were flying around on defense, and they still lost. That is a team that can compete but cannot finish. And until they fix that, they're going to keep breaking their own fans' hearts. Game 2, Golden State Valkyries 76, Seattle Storm 72. This one was about the Golden State bench. The Valkyries bench scored 40 points. 4-0. That is not a typo. Their stars and bench both showed up. And Seattle could not keep up. Janelle Salaun led Golden State with 22 points, 5 3-pointers. Gabby Williams added 19, and Tiffany Hayes off the bench, 17 points. The Golden State Valkyries right now are deeper than most teams in this league, and it is showing. Natasha Heidemann kept Seattle in it with 26 points and 5 threes of her own. But Golden State took control in the third quarter, outscoring Seattle 26-15 and held on from there. I want to talk about the Toronto Tempo for a second because I think this team is being seriously underestimated. Yes, they lost by 1 last night. And yeah, they have done this before, but look at what they're doing. They outscored a team by 12 in the fourth quarter last night. They had 18 steals. Marina Mabrey's putting up numbers that should have people talking, and they are sitting at 7-6, which puts them fourth in the Eastern Conference. Now, here's what MaddyG's hot take. Toronto is not a bad team. Toronto is a team that has not figured out how to protect leads yet. And that is coachable. That is fixable. As the season goes on, this younger roster gets more experience. I think the tempo became a real problem in the East. Marina Mabrey dropped 27 on a road game, and Toronto still lost. That means the team around her is not making enough plays when it counts. But those are growing pains, not fatal flaws. Watch this team. Do not count them out. Before I break down tonight's matchup, let me give you the injury update because this matters. Both Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are listed as probable for tonight's game in Connecticut. Clark continues to manage a back issue that has been bothering her, and Cunningham missed Thursday's game against Chicago Sky with a right elbow injury, and she is expected to play tonight. Now, this is big news. Cunningham's presence matters for this team. She provides energy, defense, and shooting off the bench. Now, having her back along with Clark in Boston makes Indiana significantly more dangerous. Coach White said she wants to be cautious with both players long term, but probable means they play. And Fever Nation should feel good about the lineup heading into tonight. This is the hot take of the day, and I need everyone in Fever Nation to understand what tonight means beyond the box score. Stephanie White coached the Connecticut Sun for 2 seasons, 23 and 24. In those 2 seasons, she went 55 and 25. 55 wins. She built that program. She knew every player, every system, every tendency in that building. The Connecticut Sun was her team. And then she left. She came to Indiana. She took the job that everybody in Fever Nation knows has been complicated, to put it nicely. Tonight, she walks back into Mohegan Sun Arena as the opposing coach. Now, Connecticut is 2-12. They are last in the Eastern Conference. They have struggled all season. Indiana is 7-5 and coming off a historic overtime win. Now, on paper, this should not be close. But here's what MaddyG knows about basketball. Paper does not play the game. Connecticut knows Stephanie White's tendencies. The players she left behind, if there are any, know exactly how she thinks, how she calls plays, what adjustments she makes. This game has upset potential written all over it. Here is my question for tonight. Does Connecticut play with extra fire against their old coach? Or does Indiana come in locked in and handle their business? I'm going to be watching every timeout, every coaching decision, and every reaction from Stephanie White when Connecticut makes a run. This is must-watch TV tonight. It's on Peacock, 6 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it. Here is everything on the board tonight across the league. Indiana Fever at Connecticut Sun, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. England. Indiana favorite at 81.9%. Commissioner's Cup game. This is the one to watch. Las Vegas Aces versus Minnesota Lynx, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. England. Minnesota is 10-2. Best record in the league. Las Vegas is 9-3. This is the second best game on the card tonight. Western Conference battle. Aces favored at 56.9%, but this one could go either way. Portland Fire versus Dallas Wings, 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Dallas favored at 68.4%. Paige Beckers and the Wings have been one of the best stories in the league this season. Portland has been competitive all year, but Dallas is the better team right now. Phoenix Mercury versus Los Angeles Sparks, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, a pick'em essential. Sparks favored at 50.8. Both teams are trying to stay relevant in the Western Conference playoff race. Here is where everything stands heading into today. Eastern Conference, New York Liberty on top at 9-4. Atlanta Dream right behind them at 8-4. Indiana Fever third at 7-5. Toronto Tempo fourth at 7-6. Washington Mystics fifth at 5-6. Chicago Sky at 4-9, and Connecticut Sun at the bottom, 2-12. Western Conference, Minnesota Lynx leading the league at 10-2. Las Vegas Aces at 9-3. Dallas Wings and Atlanta tied at 8-4. Golden State Valkyries at 8-5. The Fever are 3-1 in Commissioner's Cup play. They need to win their remaining 2 Commissioner Cup games and have New York lose both of theirs to advance to the Commissioner's Cup Championship. Tough path, but it starts tonight. Looking ahead, Tuesday, June 16th, the Fever are back home at Gainbridge Fieldhouse to host the Toronto Tempo. 6 p.m. Central, and the Tempo just showed last night they are dangerous, even in a loss. Do not sleep on that one. Before I go, tonight is everything. Fever at Connecticut, Stephanie White walking back into Mohegan Sun Arena, Clark and Boston ready to go. This is the kind of game that defines a season. Here is today's question for Fever Nation. Do you think Connecticut upsets Indiana tonight because they know Stephanie White's system? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments right now. I want to see every single answer. If you learned something today, if you felt something today, hit that subscribe button and smash that like. Drop a comment with today's question. I'm here every single day bringing you the real talk. See you tomorrow. Until then, this has been Clarrkin Off Time. Stay spicy.